Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. Changed my life.
Where is that lad, what's his name? Trevor. Trev. He prefers Trev.
Right, well, as you heard in part one, we'd gone through the rehearsals of episodes 1 and 2 of season 2, and then it was time for me to go up to Nottingham. Get in, so they send a car for you, which is something I wasn't used to. I might have been in the van in the band, driving up the motorway in the back of a van, dreading who was actually driving and what was going to happen. But I had never had a posh motor take me up to somewhere. Got up there, and then, lo and behold, okay, it's Nottingham, it's not Rome, but a really nice hotel there. And in there are, of course, all the stars. Bomber, Gary, and obviously Tim Spall. And anyway, there I am, settling in. Everything's like looking groovy, and we sit down for a big meal. We're all sitting down to table, everything else, and then in comes the one and only Jimmy Nail. He sits at the head of the table, and he's there. We're all drinking, so he starts saying, all right, so start with that, everything's okay, all having a laugh, everything like that. And then I'm thinking, oh, this is great, Tim Spall's there, Jimmy, all of them, I'm with all the boys, this is the business. And Jimmy goes, do you want to come for a drink league? Well, there was no, even though, this is the big, I'm thinking, right, this is my first day of filming. I've never been on a film set. I've never looked in a camera except when I was playing in a band when we'd done a TV show. But the answer, of course, is, yes, I will. So off he took me, him and Tim Spall took me out, got me completely wankered. And I can't remember what time we left this club, about 4 o'clock in the morning. Took me there, and off I went to bed. And as I'm sure most of you know, with filming in TV or anything, they love to get you up early. Doesn't matter, because they want you there. One, make sure you haven't run away. Can't be trusted actors. Get you up early, get you there, and even if you then have to wait for 4 or 5 hours, at least they've got you. And to be fair, they are paying you, aren't they? But anyway, I got there. I've got a monster hangover, obviously. And the other thing is that it's in a house. Those of you who really know, it was a real house. They'd got a house that needed doing up, and so the boy, they got real life builders, and all the boys, would do film, and the builders would get on, do a bit, then the boys would do it. But they'd also done, which turned out, as I'm sure you will all realise, to be somewhat of a mistake. They'd got in a room upstairs about, I've got to be honest, what are we talking, probably, what did you get in a big, more than 24 beers, in the old plastic that you get from 24 cans, and they must have had, 25, 30 of those. So that is a fair bit of beer. And it was supposed to be prop beer. So, because as you know, during the outfits, the boys like a drink. They're hard-working boys. They like a drink. Unfortunately, they also like a drink the rest of the time. And first thing, I think it was Jimmy or somebody went, you better have one of these beers. You better have one of those before you start. So I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, I think you should have one of those. And then, as I was about called to go and start filming with Tim, I hear Jimmy shouting, "Go on, Simon! Do it! No problem, man! Do it!" So I thought, one, I'm trying not to be sick, so I didn't have time to be nervous, because all I'm thinking is, oh, please, God, don't let me be sick on camera on my first ever scene. And I survived. And then they gave me another beer saying, well done, you need to celebrate that magnificent performance, which was probably about 2 looks and a line. So I needed more beer for that. And I do remember a few weeks later, there was an anguished, annoyed cry, I don't know if it was Roger, the director, or it was Martin, going, There were hundreds of cans of beer up here. Where have they all gone? And everybody looked at each other. Oh, no idea. No idea. And the only one, to be fair, who would be innocent was Bomber, because he didn't drink. So anyway, that was good. And we had loads of scenes. By this time, due to the fact that although now, where I live now in South East London, South Deptford, Tim Spall doesn't live that far away, a mile or two. But when I was living there in Kilburn, while this was all going on, Gary, God rest his soul, lived not far away, about a mile. So when we weren't filming, we went back to London, he'd like take me around his house or go out for a beer, stuff like that. So once again, he was to me, he was fantastic guy, you know. They all were. I mean, Tim Spall, all of them were really, really great guys. But they did have some, they liked to laugh, which was great. And they did, always at the end of the day's filming, we're in the bar, in the hotel, then Jimmy maybe, or Tim, he would say, come on, do you want to come for a bite to eat with me, mate? Take me out, sometimes 2 or 3, sometimes just with them on their own. And one night we went to this, I think Jimmy took me to this restaurant, and went out, and some guy come in and started, just not really, but just being really annoying to him, you know what I mean? And obviously he had to be a big kid. So, and me, I'd had a few beers, and as I say, I was a bit leery, so I just went to him, look, why don't you just fucking leave me, go away, mate, all this business. And so he went off, and at the end of the meal, I said to Jimmy, here, I'll give you my money for the. He said, no, man, you can have that for the bouncing. You know what I mean? Looking after me, well done. So, there was quite a fair. So we did it. I mean, there's loads of bits and pieces, most of which I can't tell you because, like leaving people's microphone, well, especially our old friend Gary Holton, they'd leave his microphone on sometimes. He'd forget, and he'd be out chatting up girls in the street, while we were moving the thing, and then the rest of them would be piling in the van listening to what he's saying and rolling around laughing. But it was all in the best possible taste. He never took it badly.